Chapter 18, Speaking to Entertain. The Nature of Entertainment. Often, the speaking opportunities life brings our way have nothing to do, specifically, with informing or persuading an audience. Instead, we are asked to speak to entertain. Whether you're standing up to give an award speech or a toast, knowing how to deliver speeches in a variety of different contexts is the nature of entertaining speaking. In this chapter, we're going to explore what entertaining speeches are. We will also examine two specific types of entertaining speeches: special occasion speeches and keynote speeches. 18.1 Understanding Entertaining Speeches. In broad terms, an entertaining speech is a speech designed to captivate an audience's attention and regale or amuse them while delivering a message. Like more traditional informative or persuasive speeches, entertaining speeches should communicate a clear message, but the manner of speaking used in an entertaining speech is typically different. Entertaining speeches are often delivered on special occasions, like a toast at a wedding, an acceptance speech at an awards banquet, a motivational speech at a conference, which is why they are sometimes referred to as special occasion speeches. However, they can also be given on more mundane occasions, where their purpose is primarily to amuse audience members or to arouse them emotionally in some way. Remember, when we use the word entertain, we are referring not just to humor, but also to drama. The goal of an entertaining speech is to stir an audience's emotions. Of all the types of speeches we come in contact with during our lives, the bulk of them will probably fall into the category of entertainment. If you spend just one evening watching a major awards show, like the Grammys, the Tonys, or the Oscars, you will see dozens of acceptance speeches. While some of these acceptance speeches are good, and others may be terrible, they all belong in the category of speaking to entertain. Other speeches that fall into the entertaining category are designed to inspire or motivate an audience to do something. These are, however, different from a traditional persuasive speech. While entertaining speeches are often persuasive, we differentiate the two based on the rhetorical situation itself. Maybe your school has hired a speaker to talk about his or her life story in an attempt to inspire the audience to try harder in school and to reach for the best that life has to offer. You can imagine how this speech would be different from a traditional persuasive speech focusing on, say, the statistics related to scholastic achievement and success later in life. Entertaining speeches are definitely very common, but that doesn't mean that they don't require effort and preparation. A frequent trap is that people often think of entertaining speeches as corny. As a result, they don't prepare seriously, but rather stand up to speak with the idea that they can wing it by acting silly or telling a few jokes. Instead of being entertaining, the speech falls flat. To help us think through how to be effective in delivering entertaining speeches, let's look at four key ingredients: preparation, adaptation to the occasion, adaptation to the audience, and mindfulness about the time. Be prepared. First and foremost, the biggest mistake you can make when standing to deliver an entertaining speech is to underprepare or simply not prepare at all. We have stressed the need for preparation throughout this text, so just because you're giving a wedding toast or a eulogy doesn't mean you shouldn't think through the speech before you stand up and speak out. If the situation is impromptu, even jotting some basic notes on a napkin is better than not having any plan for what you're going to say. Remember, when you get anxious, as it inevitably happens in front of an audience, your brain doesn't function as well as when you're having a relaxed conversation with friends. You often forget information. By writing down some simple notes, you will be less likely to deliver a bad speech. Be adaptive to the occasion. Not all content is appropriate for all occasions. If you are asked to deliver a speech commemorating the first anniversary of a school shooting, then obviously using humor and telling jokes wouldn't be appropriate. But some decisions about adapting to the occasion are less obvious. Consider the following examples. You are the maid of honor, giving a toast at the wedding of your younger sister. You're receiving a most valuable player award in your favorite sport. You're a sales representative speaking to a group of clients after a mistake has been discovered. You are a cancer survivor speaking at a high school student assembly. How might you adapt your message and speaking style to successfully entertain the various audiences? Remember that being a competent speaker is about being both personally effective and socially appropriate. Different occasions will call for different levels of social appropriateness. One of the biggest mistakes entertaining speakers can make is to deliver one generic speech to different groups without adapting the speech to the specific occasion. In fact, professional speakers always make sure that their speeches are tailored for different occasions by getting information about the occasion from their hosts. When we tailor speeches for special occasions, people are more likely to remember those speeches than if we give a generic speech. Be adaptive to your audience. Once again, we cannot stress the importance of audience adaptation enough in this text. Different audiences will respond differently to speech material. So, the more you know about your audience, the more likely you'll succeed in your speech. One of our co authors was once at a conference for teachers of public speaking. The keynote speaker stood and delivered a speech on the importance of public speaking. While the speaker was good and funny, the speech really felt flat. The keynote speaker basically told the public speaking teachers that they should take public speaking courses because public speaking is important. Right speech, wrong audience. Be mindful of the time. The last major consideration for delivering entertaining speeches successfully is to be mindful of your time. Different entertaining speech situations have their own conventions and rules with regard to time. Acceptance speeches and toasts, for example, should be relatively short, typically under 5 minutes. A speech of introduction should be extremely brief, just long enough to tell the audience what they need to know about the person being introduced in a style that prepares them to appreciate that person's remarks. In contrast, commencement speeches and speeches to commemorate events can run 10 to 20 minutes in length. It's also important to recognize that audiences on different occasions will expect speeches of various lengths. For example, although it's true that graduation commencement speakers generally speak for 10 to 20 minutes, the closer that speaker heads toward 20 minutes, the more fidgety the audience becomes. To hold the audience's attention and fulfill the goal of entertaining, a commencement speaker would do well to make the closing minutes of the speech the most engaging and inspiring portion of the speech. If you are not sure about the expected time frame for a speech, either ask the person who has invited you to speak or do some quick research to see what the average speech times in the given context tend to be. Key takeaways. Entertaining speeches are speeches designed to captivate an audience's attention and regale or amuse them while delivering a clear message. Speakers engage in entertaining speeches generally at special occasions like weddings or funerals, or are asked to deliver a keynote address. Entertaining speeches should include 4 key considerations: preparation, adaptation to the occasion, adaptation to the audience, and mindfulness of the time. As with all speeches, speakers need to prepare the speech. Second, speakers need to think about the specific occasion. Third, speakers need to adapt their speeches to the specific audience. Lastly, speakers need to think about how long they should speak.